All right, Greg, you've made a decision in your women's basketball coach search. Tell us about it.
Well, we're real excited to announce that Brooke Stoehr and her husband Scott will be our co-head women's basketball coaches. They both have tremendous coaching experience at the Division I level, and more than anything else, we've heard so much about how they're quality people. Brooke most recently being at Texas Tech under Christy Curry, Louisiana native, and has some family ties to this university. And Scott and Brooke have coached together as assistants at Arkansas, Little Rock, Southern Miss, and Louisiana Tech. So when they interviewed, you could just tell there's a great connection. They'll work well together, and they'll be really good for our young ladies.
It was a broad search and certainly attracted a lot of interest. Talk about that.
Yeah, to say it attracted a lot of applicants would be an understatement. I'm not sure we ever had this many applicants for a job. I've been doing this for 16 years in Northwestern State, and we had over 150 applications for this job. Lady Demon basketball has been around since 1975, and for various reasons, this is really the first thorough, tried and true search that we've done for a women's basketball coach. I think it says a lot about our university, a lot about our athletic and Lady Demon basketball program that there is that kind of interest. Really appreciate all the folks that were involved in this process, from the screening committee to the interview committee. And ultimately it's a task that you undertake for really for the benefit of your young ladies. And as I said yesterday, this has been good for Lady Demon basketball to go through this process.
Okay, let's talk about Brooke Stoehr, and she has an impressive collection of references and people she's worked with and for and around who certainly were very great names in college basketball.
Well, the bloodlines are definitely there. I mean, she played at Louisiana Tech. Christy Curry and Leon Barmore recruited her. Gary Blair at A&M said he tried to recruit her when he was at Stephen F. Austin, and obviously he's competed against her now in the Big 12. Joe Foley, a guy who's done a great job up at Arkansas Little Rock. They've been to 3 straight NCAA tournaments. She was a part of helping to get that program off the ground. So she's also been at Southern Miss and worked for some good people there. Their former AD, Richard Giannini, a good friend of mine and a good friend of ours, had very good things to say about her. So, and then ultimately Christy Curry, all a Louisiana native, who couldn't be more delighted that the alma mater of her dad and her granddad now has Brooke Stoehr and Scott as our co-head coaches. And so there's no doubt in my mind, and we talked to Brooke and Scott about that, but particularly Brooke, she will benefit, and she has gleaned so much from each of those individuals, and all that's going to do is benefit our program.
What are the particular qualities that just sold you on Brooke?
I just think you have to start with her character, and that's what I heard no matter what. I mean, I know that one coach I talked to, the first words out of his mouth were, she's just bona fide. And people talked about her character, her ability to relate to players, her work ethic, her recruiting contacts. I know at Texas Tech, the SWA there told me that pretty much Christy had Brooke's hands were all over everything, from the business side of the program to the recruiting to player development. And so I just think that you start with her character and then you go from there, because being a Division I coach, you've got to be multifaceted. There's so much to running a good program, and then obviously, last but not least, her discipline and her attentiveness to academics, and that's such a big deal right now with the NCAA academic progress rate. But I think to say about both Brooke and Scott, because they're a tandem, they work together, I think they're just what you want, in the fact that they really bring the total package to our Lady Demon basketball program. Well, I think that any time, I don't care if you start in biddy ball or you're going all the way up through Division I basketball, I think you've just got to be able to coach and you may recruit good players, but you got to make them better players. And, the thing that really stuck out in my mind about Brooke is I remember her as a point guard at Louisiana Tech, who was just an extremely heady, gutty, smart player. What's interesting is her husband at the time, they didn't know each other, coached at North Texas, and he said they could never beat Louisiana Tech, and the big reason they couldn't beat Louisiana Tech was because of the lady who at the time he didn't know was going to be his future wife. He said she just always made that play down the stretch. I mean, here's somebody who missed 25 free throws out of 294 attempts in her career. And free throw shooting is something that nobody does naturally. You do it and you make yourself better through hard work. And that tells me something about the kind of coaching that she's going to provide and the kind of teaching she's going to provide to our Lady Demons.
You've got a young family coming into a community of Natchitoches. I know that's something that has great appeal to you.
Heard that from a lot of folks as well. A couple coaches in particular said she will be very good for you in the community. And Natchitoches is such a great community. Natchitoches helps sell us to recruits. It helps sell us really to Christy or to Brooke and Scott. And I think that they have every intention of, number one, not just the Natchitoches community, but they are very interested in connecting with the Lady Demon basketball community. And then you take that a step further, they know how important getting out in this community is in Natchitoches to get folks back to attending ball games at Prather Coliseum. They're going to come in with a lot of balls in the air when they get here in the next couple of weeks, but I know that public relations and community involvement are going to be right at the top of the list.
Signing day is next Wednesday. The old phrase, hit the ground running, certainly applies here. Let's address the immediate work that they'll be doing, and we'll also talk about what they walk into here with the current team.
Well, they inherit a team, really. I think we've got 9 or 10 players back. There were 3 early signees, and then we have 1 commitment to sign next week. And so the roster is pretty full. I think there's a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of an opportunity to fill a spot. Obviously, I think at this point in time, it's got to be the right, at this point, it's got to be the right fit, the right player to do that, but there will be some opportunity. I guess what really excites me as well is part of the big reason that they want to get going here around April 17th is because that ensuing weekend is the first official weekend during which Division I coaches can go out and recruit and look at the seniors, the seniors for next year, but also look at some other players as well, and they definitely want to hit the ground running in that area.
All right. A little more specific about the talent on hand here and how you think they'll mesh with that.
Well, I mean, I think that they've already talked about the fact that one of the first things Scott and Brooke want to do is just talk to our team, look at some film, and I'm sure they know some coaches in our conference, and they just want to learn all about us. And they're pretty much, I think, going to play the 2012-13 season with the players they have, but they've got 3 outstanding seniors. Jasmine Upchurch, Trudy Armstead, and Meredith Graff those are 3 pretty doggone good players around which to build your season. Got Jasmine Bradley coming back after losing most of this past year with an ACL, and then JB was a freshman of the year candidate in her first season, and you've got some other players that could fill in, and then we haven't even talked about the recruits. And so bottom line is, and you just got the feeling when you talk to Brooke and you talk to Scott, they know what they're doing, they know their way around coaching. Christy Curry talked a lot about Brooke's ability to get in a huddle and to X and O it, and I think they'll make our players even better players than they are right now. And like I said, I think I'm as excited about this for our players as I am for anybody.
You've been through a lot of searches as AD in 16 years, and you said obviously this has attracted more interest than any other position that you've tried to fill. What does that say about this university and about this athletic program?
Well, I think it says a lot when you have, because there are, I'm sure, there's a certain percentage of the applicants that they pretty regularly send their application or their resume out, but I know a lot of people will at least do a little bit of inquiry in this day and time. If nothing else, you can get on the website, and I think that it says a lot about the fact that you can make 1 or 2 phone calls pretty quickly and find out about a job, find out about a place, and I think that it says a lot about the Lady Demon basketball tradition. I think it obviously says a lot about our university, and what's even better is if you can ever get somebody to drive on our campus, they really are sold on our university, and then most importantly, when they meet our people. That kind of seals the deal, and I just think it's great that there's been that much interest, and a lot of good people out there that maybe we didn't even get a chance to talk to, but at the end of the line, we feel extremely honored and privileged that Brooke and Scott Stoehr are going to be joining our program.